Shalom Aleichem, a guten Moed. We have some more learning from the ways of the Tzaddikim. So let's get to it. Let's get to it now. A guten Moed. Hope everyone can have a good Pesach and a guten Chol Moed. So this is the ways of the Tzaddikim, the ways of the righteous. Let's take a look right now. Teda v'tavin mi shetiva onotze lamida ro'ah. Somebody, know and understand that one who by nature inclines to an evil trait or has become habituated to such a trait and does not take it upon himself to forsake it, but constantly strengthens himself in it, such a one will come to despise and abhor the corresponding positive traits. Here's, let's see the Ivrit. Teda v'tavin. Mi shetiva'o note lamida ro. Somebody whose nature inclines him to a bad midah, let's say anger, or he's not satisfied with anything, whatever, like a bad trait. O shehergel b'midah ro, or he strengthens himself and he continues in this bad trait, and he doesn't put it into his heart to get away from this way. He does not take it upon himself to forsake it. But constantly strengthens himself in it, in this midah. Such a one will come to despise and abhor the corresponding positive traits. It'll become the positive traits will become mo'os to him. Will become disgusting to him, despised, God forbid. And just as pain, distress, and afflictions indicate bodily illness, Kain hamidos arose hein choli hanefesh. So the same thing, the evil traits indicate sickness of the soul. Kain hamidos arose hein choli hanefesh. Ukemo shechole haguf toemim hamar motok v'hamotok mar. And just like as to men who are physically ill, bitter tastes sweet, and sweet bitter. Toamim hamar motok v'motok mar. So somebody that has a bad sickness, God forbid, something that is bitter tastes sweet to him, and something that's sweet tastes bitter to him. V'yesh min hacholim shemisaveh limachol she'eno bari lo. And there are many sick people that have a desire to eat something that is not healthy for them, for him. V'sonei ha'ma'achol haborilo, and he despises eating something that is healthy for him. Hakol lefi rov hacholi. Everything is according to the magnitude of the illness. So there are those sick men who desire food that is not good for them and hate food that is good for them, and all in accordance with the magnitude of the illness. Everything according to the magnitude of the illness. So the same thing. People who have a sickness of the soul, misavim v'ohavim hadeos haraos v'sonim haderech hatova umisatzlim laleches bo. So men who are sick of soul desire and love evil traits and hate the way of good, and so they hate the way of good and are loath to walk thereon. So men who are sick of soul desire and love evil traits. They love evil traits and hate the way of good, and are loath to walk thereon, to walk on the way of good. Kach b'nei adam shenafshoseim cholos misavim v'yohavim hadeos haraos v'sonim haderech hatova umisatzlim lo leches ba. So they hate the good way, and they are very lazy to working on the good way, the good path. And this is it being overly cumbersome to them because of their illness, and so it's overly cumbersome to them because of their illness. God forbid. Yeshayahu Omer bi'anoshim halalu. Yeshayahu Hanavi says, Yeshayahu the prophet said about these people, Hoi ha'omrim lora tov, v'latov ro. Woe is to those that say good, that evil is good, and that good is evil. Hoi ha'omrim lora tov. Woe are to those that say that evil is good, v'latov ra, and that good is evil. Somim choshech li'or, v'or lechoshech. Somim mar le'masok, u'masok le'mor. Who take darkness for light, and light for darkness. Who take bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. About them it is said, Mishlei 2:3, who forsake the path of righteousness, of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness. Okay. Hoi ha'omrim lara tov. Woe are to those that say that evil is good, v'latov ra, and that good is evil. Samim choshech la'or. They take the dark ways for the light, v'or lechoshech, and the light ways for darkness. Samim mar lemasok. They take something that is bitter to be sweet, u'masok lamar, something that is sweet to be bitter. In other words, in them it's very mixed up. One has to get one's priorities straight. And Yeshayahu, this is in Yeshayahu, hey, Chav, in Yeshayahu chapter 5 and Chav, the pasuk Chav, that's the 20th pasuk. V'alehem ne'emar, and upon them it is said, Ha'ozvim orchos yosher, lo leches bedarchei choshech. They go and they forsake the ways, the straight path, to go in the ways of darkness. Mishlei Beis Yud Gimel. About them it is said, Mishlei 2:3. That's Mishlei is Proverbs. Who forsake the paths of uprightness, to walk in ways of darkness. So it's okay. So we want to try to go in the straight way. So this is so about those people it said, Ha'ozvim orchos yosher, they who forsake the path of the straight path, leches bedarchei choshech, to go in the ways of darkness. Mishlei Beis Yud Gimel. Beketzad u'mahi takonas cholei hanefesh, and what is the, now how can the healing of the soul sickness be achieved? How can we heal the soul sickness? Beketzad, and so how? Umahi takonas cholei hanefesh. What is the fixing of the sickness of the soul? Yelchu eitzel hachachamim. One should go to the chachamim, to the wise people, to the chachamim. Shehem rofei hanafashos. Now, how can the healing of soul sickness be achieved? Let them go to the wise. Go to the wise, the healers of souls, who will heal them through their teachings. Shehem rofei hanafashos. They are the ones that are able to heal the souls. They know what to do. When one can ask them and tell them, talk to them. V'yirafu cholyim. They will then heal their sickness. Badeos shemelamdim osam. They will teach them the good ways of doing things. Let them go to the wise, the healers of souls, who will then heal them through their teachings. Shemelamdim osam ad sheyachazirum laderech hatova, until they will return them. They will heal them through their teachings, through their teachings. Ad sheyachazirum laderech hatova, until they will heal them through their teachings to the good way. V'hamakirim, and they will then Badeos ha'ra'os shalahem v'einam holchim etzel ha'chachamim l'rapei osam aleihem omar shlomo. Oh, so this is something else. So those that understand that they are going in the wrong way, so let them go to the wise. The healers of souls who will heal them through their teachings until they will go to the right path. So, and then let's see, v'hamakirim, those that makirim, the last word, v'hamakirim, those that are recognized, bedeos ha'ra'os shalahem, they understand that they have bad ways of looking at things. Their ways of looking at the world is not the right way. Ve'einam holchim etzel hachachamim, and they do not go to the chachamim. They don't go to the wise, to the chachamim, to the wise people, l'rapeosam, to heal them. Aleim Amar Shlomo, upon them Shlomo says, King Shlomo, he was the wisest of all men. Shlomo, Chachma u'mosor evilim bazu. Wisdom and chastisement fools have despised. Chachma u'mosor evilim bazu. Sham Aleph Zayin. In other words, one can tell somebody like that this is not the way to do things. Do things the other way, but still they have the wrong way of looking at things at the moment until they heal their ways. So it says wisdom and Shlomo wrote, wisdom and chastisement fools have despised. In other words, one has to try to get one's deos straight. One has to look at things in the right way and then get one's priorities clear. Chachma u'mosor evelim bazu. Sham Aleph Zayin. Yesh kama b'nei adam asher tavasam litvos derech hatov. There are many people that have a desire to grab the good way, to go in the good way. V'einam yodim ma tov lahem. They don't understand what is good for them. V'choshvim b'chol yom lahasig hama'alos ha'elyonos. They want every day. They're trying. They think every day that they would like to go in the right ways. Ve'einam asikim osam kol yamehem, and they do not get to them. They do not reach them all of their days. God forbid. So there are many who desire to take hold of the way of good, but who do not know what is good for them, who think every day of attaining higher levels, but who never attain them. In other words, their desire is to go for the higher levels, but they never attain them. This is attributable to two factors. So let's see. This is because of two. This is attributable to two factors. One is she'eino makir chesrono ve'eino mavchin b'derachav hamigunim. That he does. One is that he does not recognize his own lackings, and he doesn't understand the ways that what he's doing is not the proper. It's not the proper way to do things. Vihu doma, he is compared to Ruvain shemechapes achar Shimon ve'eno makiro. This is like Ruvain, who is looking after Shimon. He's searching for Shimon ve'eno makiro, and he does not recognize him. He doesn't know what Shimon looks like. So he's looking and looking, but he doesn't know. So this person doesn't really know the right ways. He might not know the right ways. One has to study and try to find out what the right ways are. Okay, so v'afilu yechape so kol hayom, even if he's looking for Shimon all day long, lo yimtzoehu, he will not find him because he doesn't understand. He doesn't know who he is. So even though he's thinking to find him, because many times he came upon Shimon. So Reuben is looking for Shimon all day long, but he doesn't know what he looks like. So he might come up by him many times in the day, but still he doesn't know. He doesn't know that he found him. So this is the same way this person who doesn't know what he should be looking for. So the same thing is with this person. He doesn't understand what he's doing wrong. This state is analogous to Reuven's looking for Shimon, but not recognizing him. Even if he sought him the whole day, he would not find him though he fully expected to do so. For though he approached him several times, he did not recognize him. So with this kind of man, though he thinks always of what to do and seeks the good deed, he wants to do the right thing. He will not find it because he does not recognize his fault. In other words, he thinks, I'm trying to do the right thing, but whatever I do is the right thing. He doesn't understand that he has some faults, so one has to know when one has a fault, and one has to improve himself. So one has to understand when one has a fault himself. Even though he is always thinking about what to do, he's looking after the good deed to do, lo yasig, he will not find it, God forbid, since he doesn't understand his lack of character or whatever it is, or he's doing something the wrong way. There are another person that does understand that he has different things that are not right about his character, etc. Let's say smehen, and he wants to go out from them, from these bad characteristics, and to grab the good ways of doing things. So he also will not reach this level of getting out of this, all his ways, God forbid, mechamas, because shemetatzel melachapei samidos hatovos karoi. He's metatzel, he's lazy from searching after the good deeds that he has to do. In other words, he understands I'm angry all the time, God forbid, or I'm stingy or whatever it is. I'm not satisfied. So or whatever the bad thing can be, but still, or he might be lazy. He's lazy from searching after the good midos, the good characteristics. He's analogous to Reuven that's looking after Shimon, umakiro, and he understands him, and he recognizes him. The same way, he understands, he recognizes Shimon, but he's not finding him because he's not searching after him the right way, the karoi, as it is fitting that he has to. Upon this it is said in Mishlei, in Proverbs, Kesef Nivchar Lishon Tzadik. This state is analogous to Reuven's seeking Shimon and being able to recognize him, yet not finding him. And because he does not seek him properly, it is written regarding this, choice silver is the tongue of the righteous one. Choice silver is the tongue of the righteous one. So that's a great thing. Choice silver. Kesef nivchar. Choice silver. Leshon Tzadik is the voice, is the tongue, the voice of the righteous one. Leshon Tzadik. Mishnah Yud Chaf. That's in Proverbs chapter 10 and the pasuk 20. Perush. The explanation is Kol Zeh HaPasuk Kachu. The explanation of this pasuk is as so. Mi shenose b'chaveru uba l'shalem lo kesef b'mishkol im eino makir ba'amitas hamishkol b'tzedek hamoznayim o makir hakol ach she'eino baki b'bechinat hakesef ze ho'ish karov lihios nizok b'inyan hamishkol o b'bechinat hakesef. Let's see what it says in the English. This verse is to be understood as follows. If one comes to pay a creditor silver by weight, and the latter is not aware of the truth of the weights, he's not aware of how accurate the weights are, or the accuracy of the scales, or if the scales are accurate or not, or if so in other words, this is the creditor. He's not aware of the truth of the weights or the accuracy of the scales, or if he's aware of all this but is not an expert in evaluating silver, such a man is prone to suffer a loss in the matter of weight or in the discrimination of the silver. For sometimes he will reject the silver and take the dross, and at other times he will take less than the weight due him, either taking the light weight or placing the silver in the heavy balance on the scales. In all of these ways he may come to error. In other words, one has to know what one is dealing with. One has to understand the right midos, the right ways of doing things, and the right... This is talking about silver, but it's analogous to one has to understand the right way of doing things and the right characteristics one has to have. So, Im eino makir ba'amitas hamishkol, if he doesn't, the creditor, if he doesn't understand the truth of the scale and whether the scale is true or not, b'tzedek hamoznayim, or whether the weights, or a loss in the matter of weight or in the discrimination of the... Let's see. The verse is to understood as follows. If one comes to pay a creditor silver by weight, and the latter is not aware of the truth of the weights or the accuracy of the scales, or if he is unaware of all this but is not expert in evaluating silver, such a man is prone to suffer a loss in the matter of weight or in the discrimination of the silver. For sometimes he will reject the silver and take the dross, and at other times he will take less than the weight due him, either taking the light weight or placing the silver in the heavy balance on the scales. In all of these ways he may come to error. This person, the creditor, is close to becoming liable to becoming damaged, God forbid, because he doesn't taking the right amount of silver, of the weight, or he doesn't understand good silver as opposed to not such good silver. Sometimes sometimes he'll refuse, he will be denied the real silver, and he will take the sigim, the dross, not such good silver. Sometimes he might take less than the weight that is due to him in the silver. Perhaps yikach mishkal hakal, he might take a lighter weight than he is due. If it's not honest scales, God forbid. Oh, yosim hakesef bakaf hakaveda, or he might put the silver in the heavier scale. In other words, then he'll take less silver. Sheba moznayim. Mikol elu yavo lidei tos. Because from all of this, he will come to tos, to a mistake. He will come to error. Or afilo imhu baki, or even if he is expert in silver, because of Mishkol, he's an expert because of Mishkol in the silver and also in the weight. Imenu mistakel bo karoi, if he doesn't look at it in the right way. Efshar sheyis arvu bikaspo sigim. It is possible his weight will become mixed with dross. Avalimhu baki bakol, b'mishkol, ubakesef, u'mistakel bo karoi, azu mishtalem karoi, kesef noki. If he does not watch carefully, it is possible, he's got to watch carefully. It is possible that his silver will become mixed with dross. But if he is expert in all, in weight and in silver and in careful observation, in other words, one has to be careful, an observer, to have his priorities correct, he will be properly paid. Then he will be properly paid with pure silver for the full weight. For this reason, Shlomo compared the tongue of the righteous one to choice silver. For the righteous man must recognize good and evil and be expert in the value of every trait. Lochein dima lishon tzadik lekesef nivchar. Therefore, Shlomo HaMelech compared the tongue, the voice of a tzaddik, the advice of a tzaddik, lekesef nivchar, to choice silver. Ki hatzadik tzarech lahakir hatov v'hara. The tzaddik, a righteous person, has to understand the good, and that which is good, that which is evil, v'lihios baki be'erech kol midah, and to be an expert in evaluating all of the different traits, and the scales and the traits. One has to contemplate them and to understand them the right way. He has to work begufo with his physicality, with his body, and with his seichel, with his understanding. La'azov hatipshus, to get rid of the tipshus of the. He must properly observe and reflect upon them, and exert himself physically and intellectually to rid himself of folly, and to embrace understanding and remove its admixture of dross. To understand the good, what is of value, and to take away the admixture of dross, that which is not valuable. V'lios torech, to work begufo, with his body, with his physicality, uv'chachmaso, and with his understanding. La'azov hatipshus, to get away from the folly. V'le'echos b'tevuna, and to grasp b'tevuna with the understanding. V'lahasir, and to take away ta'arobos hasigim mimeno, the admixture of the dross from it. V'oz tiyeh nishmaso tzerufa, then his neshama, his soul will be tzerufa mezukoka le'Elohim. Then his soul will be pure and refined for God. Then his neshama, his soul, will be pure and refined for God, as it is written. Ibid, when it says ibid, that means there. We're talking about Mishlei 25:4. That's Mishlei's Proverbs. Remove the dross from the silver, and there will come forth a vessel for the refiner. Then his soul will be refined, and will be fitting for Hashem. Kidduchsiv, as it is written, Hago sigim mikesef v'yetze le'tzorev keli sham chafei daled. Remove the dross from the silver, and there will come forth a vessel for the refiner. When the dross is removed, then the vessel will be refined. Perush. Kishayosiru hasigim, when one of the dross is removed, then the vessel will be refined. V'yesh adam hamishtane b'minhagim v'eino kavua. B'minhagim v'eino kavua. Zman echad oches b'minhag zeh. Zman echad mistalek meoso minhag v'oches minhag acher. V'kocho ya'aseh li'olam. Then there's a third person. There's another kind of man whose behavior varies and is not fixed. So sometimes he does things the right way, sometimes he does things not the right way. At one time, he adheres to one form of behavior, and at another, he departs from this form and adopts another, forever varying his behavior. He may be compared to one who desires to go to a certain city, but does not know the paths nor recognize the roads leading to it. So in other words, we have to be consistent. One has to be consistent. He changes his minhagim. He changes the way he does things. It's not set. It's not all set. It should be. One has to have a minhag kavua, the right. Try to get one's priority straight and then stick with it. Zman echad. Sometimes oches b'minhag zeh. He does things according to this minhag, this custom. Uzman echad mistalek meoso minhag. He gets away from this custom. V'oches minhag acher. He goes to a different way of doing things. V'kocha ya'aseh li'olam. He does this all the time. V'hu domen la'adam shechafetz loleches el ir. This is comparable to a person who wants to go to a city. Ve'eno yodeya hashavilim. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know the paths. Ve'eno makir hadarachim. He doesn't know the ways, the roads. Hamalichim oso eleho, that take him there. Ve'hu mishtomeim b'mesila, and then he may be compared to one who desires to go to a certain city, but does not know the paths, nor recognize the roads leading to it. As a result, he is confounded on the way, at one time taking one road for a parasang and not finding the city, and then taking a different road for a parasang. He might go parasang, I think, is a certain measure of distance, and not finding the city, and then taking a different road for a parasang, straying, returning, and not finding the city. About such a one the sage has written, Koheles, that Shlomo Melech has written, 10:15. The labor of the fools wearies him. He does not know how to go to the city. One time he will go this way. Parasa, it's like a parasang. Below Yimtzoher, and he will not find the city. Then he will go a parsa in a different direction. And he will and he will make a mistake. And he will return. He will not find the city. In other words, one has to find the right way of thinking about things, and then try to stick to it to be consistent. Like this, the Chacham that Shlomo Melech said in Koheles, Amal hakesilim tisyageu, tiyagenu. Amal hakesilim tiyagenu. Asher lo yoda laleches el ir. Koheles Yud Tesvav. Koheles 10:15. The labor of the fools wearies him. He does not know how to go to the city. So, in other words, one has to be consistent also in his labors of finding the right way of doing things, of the right midos to adopt for oneself, the right way to try to go to, the right way to serve Hashem. So then he will go in a different parsa, in a different way. And he will make a mistake and return. Below he won't find the city. So like this, the Chacham says, Amal hakesilim tiyaganu asher lo yodo lo leches el ir. The labor of the fools wearies him. He does not know how to go to the city. In other words, we have to be trying to be consistent. Don't do something one way, and one has to try to find the right way, and then to keep with it. Meshukayach, called to so sein Refuos and Yeshuos, and things should be good from now on. This is the ways of the Tzaddikim, Archos Tzaddikim, the ways of the righteous. And this is by Feldheim. English translation by Rabbi Shraga Silverstein. Kol Tov, all the best. Kol Tov, thank you. Hashem helps. Hashem should help. Kol Tov.